I call to order the meeting of our Common Council for Tuesday, January 20th. Clerk?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. We have 12 members in the room and 12 members in civic court.
All right. Thank you, Clerk. Now please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for an invocation offered by Alder Galvin. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alder Galvin.
Thank you. Everyone can sit down.
Awesome.
Sorry. So when I realized it was my turn to speak, and this is going to be my last time to do this to all of you, but usually what I do is I try and look at what's going on in our society right now and try and find something from someone way smarter than me that said something that I think applies. And so today I have two quotes from John Kennedy. The first is, today the challenge of political courage looms larger than ever before, for our everyday life is becoming so saturated with the tremendous power of mass communications that any unpopular or unorthodox course arouses a storm of protests, such as John Quincy Adams under the attack in 1807 could never have envisioned. Our political life is becoming so expensive, so mechanized, and so dominated by professional politicians and public relations men that the idealist who dreams of independent statesmanship is rudely awakened by the necessities of election and accomplishment. And thus, in the days ahead, only the very courageous will be able to take the hard and unpopular decisions necessary for our survival. So I think of all of you that are running for election, and what we face today, and this is from 1956, and I think it's even more profound today when you think about it. And I have one more here, if you would just bear with me. But I think the American people expect more from us than cries of indignation and attack. The times are too grave, the challenge too urgent, and the stakes too high to permit the customary passions of political debate. We are not here to curse the darkness, but to light the candle that can guide us through the darkness to a safe and sane future. As Winston Churchill said on taking office some 20 years ago, if we open a quarrel between the present and the past, we shall be in danger of losing the future. This was from a speech in 1960. So I applaud all of you that are running for re-election and those that are running against you and what you're hoping to accomplish in the future. So thank you.
Thank you, Alder Galvin, and thanks for offering that for your final invocation. Some wise words. With that, we will move along to approval of the minutes. Motion to approve made by Alder Stevens. Is there a second? Seconded by Alder Hinkfist. Alder Prophet? Yes, go ahead.
In S5, the last two votes, I'd like both myself and Alder Presley to be recorded as a no.
All right, Alder Prophet makes that motion, seconded by Alder Presley. All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The minutes have been amended.
Motion to approve as amended.
Motion to approve is amended made by Alder Prophet. Seconded by Alder Ritterbusch. All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The minutes are approved as amended. Approval of the agenda. Motion to approve made by Alder Prophet and seconded by Alder Stevens. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the agenda has been approved. Just a couple quick things under report by the mayor. First, just wanted to thank the numerous community groups for coming together for Martin Luther King Day celebrations. NWTC, as always, hosted on Saturday, and then Divine Temple yesterday, our Conservation Corps, and in collaboration with We All Rise, also had an event that was great over at the Central Library. So some great celebrations within the community. Just wanted to thank all of them for putting them on, pulling them together. Martin Luther King, in my opinion, one of the greatest Americans to have ever lived. So always a great opportunity just to come together and think about him and his legacy. Also, a bit of good news to share. Some of you might have seen that Myron has decided to withdraw their in our estimation, meritless suit. So we do need to approve that contract, and so we might be doing a special meeting here as early as Thursday at 5 p.m. So obviously you'll be getting information about that, but just kind of wanted to flag that for you all. So being gonna pull that together pretty quickly because obviously we want to move forward with the project. It's a great one and it's really important, I think, to downtown Green Bay and the community at large. So looking forward to awarding that bid hopefully on Thursday. And that's all I got for you. Announcements from council. Any announcements? All right, appointments. Motion to approve made by Alder Stevens, seconded by Alder Johnson. Seconded by Alder DeLee. Sorry. Any discussion on the appointments? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and those appointments are made. On to public hearings. So we just have one miscellaneous ordinance number 07-25, an ordinance adopting an amendment to the Go Big Green Bay 2050 comprehensive plan of the city of Green Bay related to the property located at 1109 South Taylor Street from low density residential to commercial, CPA 25-05. Is there anyone here who'd like to speak to that item? Anyone here who'd like to speak to that item? Anyone here who'd like to speak to that? All right, clerk, please let the record reflect that no one is in attendance for our public hearing. Now on to ordinances, second reading for adoption. Motion to suspend the rules, take up these items with one roll call vote made by Alder Profit, seconded by Alder Presley. All in favor will say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it, the rules are suspended. Motion to adopt made by Alder Profit, seconded by Alder Hinkfist. Any discussion? Seeing none, we will use the board.
I'm just gonna have to wait a minute, it was very slow. I'm sorry, who made the motion to adopt?
Alder Profit, seconded by Alder Hinkfist.
You may vote.
And those are approved 12-0. On to the report of the Redevelopment Authority. Motion to approve made by Alder Profit, seconded by Alder DeLee. Any items here to be handled separately? Yeah, Alder Johnson.
I just ask the clerk to reflect an abstention on item 1, as that is my employer.
All right. Any items? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the agenda will signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The report has been approved. Improvement in services. Motion to approve made by Alder DeLee and seconded by Alder Eck. Items here to be handled separately. Hearing none. All in favor of the report will signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. That report has been approved. Protection and policy. Motion to approve made by Alder Profit, seconded by Alder Ritterbusch, and it sounds like all of them will need to be pulled. So we'll go to item 1. Motion to open the floor made by Alder Profit, seconded by Alder Presley. All in favor will say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The floor is open, and this is for consideration with possible action on an appeal by Brian Sanchez regarding the denial of his operator license. There was no recommendation by the committee. So if Mr. Sanchez is here and would like to speak, you can approach the podium. And if you could just state your name and address for us, and
Brian Sanchez, 1181 Hanson Road, apartment 1A, Green Bay, Wisconsin, 54304.
go ahead, sir.
So I'm looking to get my bartending license to continue on a plea deal with the state, staying full time for 40 hours employment. But I do need my bartending license to continue working at the Packer Stadium and at Home Field, Pub and Social. I'm looking to also train people, and I'm looking to move higher up on what I do for my job, but I can't really do any of that without my bartending license, so I'm looking to see if I can possibly get that. Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Sanchez? Yeah, Alder Galvin.
So you work for the Packers right now?
Yes.
Okay, and so you're looking to get your bartender's license?
Yes.
And why was that denied?
Um, Apparently they said previously because it takes one manager to have a bartending license, and if one person has it, it can the people that work with that manager can also bartend with just having one manager. But I'm looking to train, and also a lot of the times I don't have a supervisor or like a manager that has a bartending license, so I get cut hours because of that. But with this, if I were to get a bartending license, I can train other people and be able to move from different locations.
Okay, I guess what I'm wondering though is why were you denied your license?
I had some uh pending felony that I'm kind of going through right now, but it was deferred. So they said I had to do something with it, but I don't really understand too much about it.
All right. Yeah, yeah. Either Alder Prophet or the chief wants to chime in here. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, any other questions while we still have the floor open for our guest? All right. Thanks for your testimony.
Thank you.
Motion to close the floor made by Alder Stevens, seconded by Alder Prophet. All in favor will say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The floor is closed. Alder Stevens.
Thank you, Mayor. Chief, could you give us a rundown on the reasoning for this denial? A recommendation for denial?
Sure. So, as part of the process for these, we look into people's criminal history and their CCAP history. In Mr. Sanchez's case, he does have several convictions for minor traffic violations, which by themselves really wouldn't be an issue. He does have one case where he was found guilty of a misdemeanor, possession of marijuana and prescription drug offense in 2022. And then, as he mentioned, there is a pending case for which he has received a deferred prosecution agreement for the case, which normally means that there's some steps that he needs to go through in order to eventually make the case be dismissed. But he does have a deferred prosecution agreement hearing pending in March of 2027. Unfortunately, on his operator's license application, it looks like he didn't list any of these and listed N/A, which typically means not applicable when asked for felony, misdemeanor, or ordinance violation convictions and pending cases. And he indicated this may have been a misunderstanding on his part, but just applying the standard consistently with the way we have done in the past, our staff recommended denial.
Thanks, Chief. Alder Stevens.
All right, thank you for that. So regarding the one that's in question regarding the felony, that was into agreement of September 19th of last year, correct?
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay, so he has 18 months from that date to rectify the issue.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor.
Yeah, Alder Galvin.
Chief, so the denial was merely because he did not put on there that he had these prior convictions.
Yes.
And his explanation is he didn't understand, and that's why he did it.
That's my understanding, yes.
Had he had that on there, then you would have approved this application.
In this case, we probably would have. The issues in these cases aren't all directly related to alcohol service or anything like that, but it is, typically we will not approve these if there is a statement on their application that is false.
All right, thank you. I would make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve made by Alder Galvin, seconded by Alder Prophet. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, all in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The ayes appear to have it. And we are on to item 2, maybe a motion to suspend the rules on all 3. Alder Stevens makes a motion to suspend the rules and take up items 2 through 4 with one roll call vote, seconded by Alder Prophet. All in favor will say aye. Opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The rules are suspended.
We just need to make a clerical improvement on this. Coming out of protection and policy, all 3 items were recommended for approval.
All All right, so that's approval of all three items. So seconded by Alder Profit. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed nay. The ayes have it, and those items are approved. Report of the Green Bay Police Department granting operator licenses. Motion to approve made by Alder Stevens, seconded by Alder Presley. Any names here to be handled separately or abstentions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed nay. The ayes have it. That report has been approved. Report of the Plan Commission. Motion to approve made by Alder Presley, seconded by Alder Profit. Items here to be handled separately? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed nay. The ayes have it. That report has been approved. Finance Committee. Motion to approve made by Alder Profit, seconded by Alder DeLee. Items here to be handled separately. Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed nay. The ayes have it. That report has been approved. Personnel Committee. Motion to approve made by Alder Presley, seconded by Alder Profit. Items here to be handled separately. Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed nay. The ayes have it. That report has been approved. Public Arts Commission. Motion to approve made by Alder Profit, seconded by Alder DeLee. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor will say aye. Opposed nay. The ayes have it. That report has been approved. Traffic, Bicycle, and Pedestrian Commission. Motion to approve made by Alder Stevens, seconded by Alder Profit. Items here to be handled separately. Hearing none, all in favor will say aye. Opposed nay. The ayes have it. That report has been approved. Sustainability Commission. Motion to approve made by Alder Presley, seconded by Alder Profit. Items here for separate consideration. Seeing none, all in favor will say aye. Opposed nay. The ayes have it, and that report has been approved. Excuse me. Next, we have informational items, December Municipal Court Report and the Building Report, also for December in your packet. Next up is resolutions. Motion to suspend the rules and take up these items with one roll call vote made by Alder Profit, seconded by Alder Stevens. Any discussion? All in favor will say aye. Opposed nay. The ayes have it. The rules are suspended. Motion to adopt made by Alder Profit, seconded by Alder DeLee. Any discussion? We will use the board.
I wasn't at PP.
Oh, okay. Johnson was just asking why so many people
So
are.
I know that there's somebody from Hookah license. Now I'm away from that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
There's actually, so, yeah, there's somebody.
Okay. Alder Johnson was just asking if anybody in the gallery was planning to speak on any items or no. 'Cause we've got a good gathering of people. Just want to make sure we're not missing something. Okay. All right. Alder Profit's got it covered. We're good. Thanks. Next up, our ordinances is first reading. Motion to suspend the rules, take up these items with one roll call vote made by Alder Profit, seconded by Alder Presley. All in favor will say aye. Opposed nay. The ayes have it. The rules are suspended. Motion to advance made by Alder Presley, seconded by Alder Profit. All in favor will say aye. Opposed nay. The ayes have it, and those ordinances are advanced to a second and final reading. Adjournment. Motion to adjourn made by Alder Profit, seconded by Alder Hinkfist. All in favor say aye. Opposed nay. The ayes have it. We're adjourned. Thanks everyone.
Recording stopped.